What's up, it's thelofty, and welcome to me reacting to horror animated stories. Now, I don't know what game to play. Okay, there's like no games.
If my voice is a little deep, I'm sorry.
I just woke up.
Not really a squeaker.
All right, but this first one's by Horror Shorts Party. All right, let's see what it's about. Enjoy the video. Horror Shorts Party. Wait, I don't want. Yeah, we don't need those. We don't need those. All right, let's do this. True Homeless Horror Story 2, narrated by Bounded Imagery.
I've lived a long enough life to have heard and seen a lot of unusual things. Of course, having spent many of my years in it in the state of Florida, I've seen firsthand on several occasions why the infamous
Horror Shorts Party.
I love your work.
In the state of Florida, I've seen firsthand on several occasions why the infamous Florida man is always making headlines across the country. Heck, I could have been one of those Florida men back in the day, but I can tell you without a doubt that no matter how steeled you think you've become against the surprises life throws at you, you're never invincible.
That's true.
Life always holds the power to shock you to your core.
That's true.
I mean, take me for example. I spent my years in the military, and I've spent my years on the streets, drifting between one rock and another hard place. But no matter what messed up stuff I have to see go down or deal with, I always bounce back. Well, almost always.
Almost.
Out of everything I've seen, only one thing made me lose my cool, and I think it was just the sheer unexpectedness of it. Just that I didn't think anything like it could ever happen in broad daylight in the middle of the city, but there's no denying that this happened. Everyone knows about it these days. It was a nice sunny day in Miami. I was making my way across town down the concrete mess of a highway, just to get out of that part of town I'd been in for the last few weeks. I'd never owned a car, so I was taking my bike down the shoulder, except I wasn't riding it. I hadn't been sleeping well, and the night before I didn't manage to catch any sleep at all. I was honestly too drowsy to pedal in a straight line.
This is
so
like
I was literally just walking my bike down the shoulder of the road.
This is like Toji weakening Gojo.
There was a sidewalk next to me, but it was on the other side of a concrete barrier, like the ones they use to divide directions of traffic on freeways.
Yes.
I could have hopped it on foot, but not with my bike. I don't know exactly how I'd ended up sandwiched there between the cars and the concrete.
You can't
but
cross
after
the
what
road.
happened later, I'd take that way again over the alternative. The sun was getting high and bright.
Oh my gosh.
It was starting to hurt my eyes. I squinted ahead and saw that there was a bridge down the way, a nice wide overpass to provide some shade. I started to quicken my pace, which felt pretty silly given that there were countless cars flying past me, but between the deafening whoosh of each vehicle passing, I kept thinking I was hearing something.
What is
Something
that?
that sounded like the shouts of a heated argument between drunk people.
That's the problem with you. It's knowing how this down.
That might not be something you'd expect to hear in the middle of the day in your town, but in Miami, it's more than common.
My dude is losing
But
it.
I couldn't help but think it sounded a little unusual. I figured that sleep deprivation was screwing with me.
It's
Pressed on, but as I got closer to the bridge, the shouting grew louder. It sounded more like screaming, but there was some other tone in there.
What is going
like
on?
A growling, rabid dog. Every time I thought I was about to decipher it, a car would blow past me. Then, the sound would change. By the time I got to the bridge, my curiosity was piqued.
Bro,
I could definitely tell where the noise was coming from. Straight ahead of me. Just a few more yards under the shade. I peeked over the edge of the barrier onto the sidewalk and saw two hairy pairs of men's legs sliding around together on the sidewalk.
Bro, he's dead.
I instinctively darted my eyes away, not wanting to see much more above the thigh level. These experimenting people need to get a room. What are they thinking?
Bro.
Doing stuff like that on the side of the road.
It's only legs.
Well, obviously no one cares because no one's stopping. Just another day in Florida. I did my best to keep my eyes to myself as I passed under the shade.
Keep walking.
I was thankful for the break from the intense light.
Oh my gosh.
But beneath the underside of the road above, some strange sounds began to echo, forcing me in for another look. This wasn't an act of exhibition. but there were two messed up looking dudes lying naked on the concrete,
Bro.
and one of them was crouched over the other, tearing into a man's face with his teeth. There
Bro.
was blood gushing out and spilling onto the asphalt, bone showing through the bite wounds on the face, and flesh in the attacker's teeth as he looked up to notice me, just to scream
Dude,
like
run.
a feral zombie as he looked me dead in the eye.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you go
It
ahead,
was
man.
at that exact moment
hop on
that
the bike,
I jumped
bro.
onto my bike and pedaled off
Yeah,
at
bro.
top speed. All prior drowsiness was erased by the shot of adrenaline. I kept looking back to see if
Is
I
he
was
looking
being ran
forwards?
down by that psycho. But luckily, he'd been content with scaring me off. I rolled down the first ramp that
Oh
I
my
got to and
gosh.
immediately went looking for a cop. I found one not even a block away, surrounded by several other very concerned-looking citizens. The police officer, however, seemed annoyed, but I was in a panic, and I never panic.
Look at dude's face.
So I must have been a sight to see all on my own. I barged through all those people and got right up into the cop's face. There's a flippin' zombie on the frickin' pedestrian path. Up the ramp, just up that way. Come on, don't get hysterical with me, people. What do you mean by zombie? There's a dude eating another dude's face off, man. Finally, it seemed like something
Bro, he don't
clicked
wanna
in the
work.
cop's brain. He didn't say anything to us. He walked straight into his car, speaking something into his radio. Then he drove up the off-ramp going the wrong way, out of sight. Me and those other civilians traded a few strange looks, all in an understandable loss for words. Some of them looked like avid bicyclists. Others just
Avid?
looked like people who'd come out of their cars.
Yeah, just look like
I
people.
wondered how long that thing had been going
The
on
freak.
with all those people just driving past like that. Then we heard the gunshots.
Oh yeah.
5 of them
Oh
in
my
quick
gosh.
succession. Everybody on the street stopped what they were doing, dumbfounded. In just a few
Bro,
minutes,
oh my
more
goodness,
and more
yeah.
cops came, followed by an ambulance, and then the army of press. News
army?
van after news van drove up to broadcast the scoop, live on the scene, or whatever. I heard some office building captured the whole thing on their security cameras. It was the talk of the town for weeks. I'm sure the name Miami was heard all across the world alongside Zombie Attack, Cannibal Eats Face Off Homeless Man, Florida Man
He was
Gets
just
Wasted and
homeless,
Eats Face.
bro.
I don't care for any of that. People who weren't there seem fascinated by it. But I know more than anything that I never want to see pictures of that horrible tragedy. Just from seeing it one time, I was shaken up for months. I still get hair standing up on the back of my neck whenever I pass under a bridge.
My goodness, bro.
A person who was riding his bike here off the MacArthur Causeway yesterday afternoon says he saw one man eating another man alive.
You're about to hear from the Miami man
No
who had
way.
his face chewed off.
My face was all patched up. My eyes got plucked out.
And ignored the officer's orders to stop eating the other man's face.
Alright, bro. Ooh. Fire, bro. That was fire. Alright. I should have time for one more. Now this one's by Llama Arts and it's titled The Motel. Now this one's by Llama Arts and it's titled Motel Animated. Let's see what it's about. The motel. Ooh,
I was 19 years old at the time, working at a sketchy motel.
Alright.
The motel was pretty run down, and the majority of people who
Yo, peep this car, bro.
stayed there were locals that were just doing things they weren't supposed to be doing.
What do you mean by
Let's
that?
just say the cops came by multiple times a week.
Oh,
I worked as both a front desk person,
Bro, he just
checking in
died.
these creeps all hours of the night,
And
and
it's a
as a
girl?
housekeeper who
Yeah,
got to
she's
clean
cooked.
up their nasty, vomit-smelling rooms afterwards. One afternoon, I was working as a housekeeper in the second building of the motel on the backside furthest from the office. I hated working over there because it not only had the most worn-down rooms, but it was always pretty vacant over there and way too quiet for comfort. I began cleaning one of my last rooms and wanted to get done in a hurry because it was getting late. I was washing the mirror in the room that I was cleaning when all of a sudden, I saw a man in the reflection staring at me. He was mid-50s, dirty,
Yo.
with long, greasy hair. Startled, I screamed, "Oh my god." I told him he scared me, The room I was currently cleaning was vacant, so there was no reason why this man should have been in there
Yo.
watching me clean.
Yo, get back,
However,
bro.
we just had a meeting on customer satisfaction, and my boss was really pressuring us to be more polite and help the guests any way we could. Sir? I asked him cautiously. Can I get you anything? Towels?
Look at him.
The man just stared back at me with a crooked grin and held out his hands to me.
What is that?
I thought maybe he was handing me a tip for cleaning his room earlier, but when I looked down, I saw he was holding a $100 bill. Alarms started going off in my head.
Nope, don't take it.
No one tips $100 on a $40 a night room.
Don't take it.
The man just smiled and said his name was Terry. He said he was staying in the room next door with his wife Sherry and sort of joked about their names.
You don't have a wife.
He smelled
Look
like
at you.
car oil and alcohol. When I asked him why he was trying to hand me $100, he laughed deep in his throat and said, "Me and my wife were watching you, and we just wanted to have fun with you."
Have fun. All right, you
felt
better
like my
jump
heart
out the
jumped
window.
into my throat.
Jump out the window.
No, I can't do that, sir. I'm sorry.
She's
I
cool.
wanted to run out of the room screaming, but he was
Oh my
blocking
gosh.
the door,
Yeah,
my only
exactly.
exit. The man smiled again,
Nope.
taking on a softer tone of
She's
voice, and invited me to come into his room to meet his wife,
No, I'm good.
just to talk as friends.
No, I'm good.
I nervously told him no again,
No, I'm
and
good.
that I had a lot of work to do for the day.
I'm good.
I prayed to God he would just go away,
He's not
and
leaving.
eventually he did.
Oh.
He grunted and walked off in what I assumed to be the direction of his room.
Oh, he actually did.
My mind began racing. There is no wife, I thought. This man could try and kidnap me. I was 110
He's gonna do a lot worse than kidnap you.
pounds at the time and not very strong. He could easily overpower me.
Easily.
I locked the room from the inside and went directly to the phone to call my manager at the front desk.
Call
but
911.
the phone wasn't working.
Whoa.
Adrenaline began pumping through my veins, and despite what I was always told not to do, I was panicking. Did he cut the line? No, I thought. This is a crappy motel. It happens all the time. But I just have to get out. I remembered that I had my cell phone out on my housekeeping card, but that was outside the locked door. I'd have to open the door to get it. I cautiously opened the door to the room that I was cleaning and peered out. I didn't see anyone, so I frantically began searching my cart for my cell phone.
Oh my gosh. Is it gone? No way.
I was wasting too much time looking for it, so I just decided to run as fast as I could and
Yeah.
make a break for
Yeah,
the
just
front
bounce,
desk in
just
the
bounce.
office. Then
Yo.
from behind me, I heard the man again, but this time he was screaming to someone else. "She's running, she's getting away."
Bro, what?
I could hear his shoes slamming against the pavement after me. I quickly turned the corner, grabbed my keycard, and let myself into a stockroom and locked the door. Within moments, I heard the sound of the dirty guy and someone else running outside, searching for me. I stayed in that stockroom for 30 minutes shaking until I could no longer hear him searching for me. I finally got
She
the
actually
courage to
left?
run the rest of the way to the front
Yo,
desk.
yeah, you know, she is strong. Yo, I'm be honest. I'd sleep there, bro. I'm not leaving. I'd wait until at least noon.
When I made it there, I collapsed into my boss's arms and he called the police.
I quit.
The man and whoever else was in the room with him peeled out before the cops could arrive, and I was beyond shaken up. According to the police who ran a search, this wasn't the first time he had done something like this, and he was actually wanted for sexual assault,
Yep.
gross sexual imposition, and in the past was once charged with rape.
Yep.
A few weeks later, on what happened to be my birthday, this guy was caught. A few weeks after that, I quit. I will never again work at another motel.
And there you have it. And there you have it.